Hi, my name's Bronwen and I'm the author of Keep It Super Simple, Tips from a Recovering Perfectionist. And I wrote this book because I suffered a breakdown and that came off the back of cancer. But the reality was that the breakdown was caused by me pushing myself too far for too long. And I got to a point where my body and my mind conspired against me and said, no more, we're not living like this anymore. And they dropped me from a great height with such a force that I couldn't get back up again. And through my recovery process, I learned a lot about how we are put together as human beings and generally the rules that we live by as a society. And the more that I understood about that, the more concerned that I became about what I was seeing, and the more concerned I became about the things that I had indoctrinated into my life as being, requirements for me to be able to be successful. And so more and more now I spend every day teaching people that there is a very different way to live. And I find now that I'm coming across examples of more and more high-profile people who spend a lot of their day telling you all the things that you're doing wrong and the ways that you're doing it wrong, and the things that you do that are bad for you and all of those sorts of things. And my concern around that is that nobody knows what's good for you better than you do. And so when I go to a seminar and I see somebody using subliminal messaging to make you want to work with them and saying things like, if you leave this seminar before the end of the day, then you've let yourself down. Saying things like, if you're not driven, if you don't get up and do something different every day, then you're a loser. Or putting tags on things and saying that you're living a very ordinary, dull life. I sort of look back at that and I say that they have no right to make those decisions about the way that you live. The only person that has any authority over your life is yourself. And so it's now my mission to teach people how to find the people who can teach them. So I always say that you should always learn from the people who teach you to learn from yourself. So find the people out there who have the processes, the activities, the exercises, the information that allows you to take that information and ask questions of your own life. Because that is the only way that you will find your pathway forward. And anybody that tells you otherwise simply wants to separate you from your money. And I know that sounds really clinical and quite harsh, but in the reality of life, that is what they're doing. They're basically saying, buy my stuff so that I can tell you who you are. And that is not going to get you anywhere, perhaps other than backwards from where you are now. So to give you a really good example of the types of things that I'm talking about, I'd love for you to, access my 7 steps to living differently. It's a series of 7 emails that come over a period of time to you, and it just gives you a little bit of information that helps you to think differently and has a little practical exercise that you can do that starts asking you questions about, your life. And you're the only one that has the answers for those. So it's free to access, and I want you to have a look at it so that you can start to understand the types of information and the way that it can be presented that can actually help you to learn from yourself. So click on the link, fill in your details and start getting these emails through and see just how differently you can actually live your life when you're asking yourself the questions that matter, the questions that will help you to think differently, because once you think differently, it's really easy to take little simple steps so that you can live differently.